open the music industry, because even though the music industry is dead, I mean, absolutely dead, I believe it was dead before COVID. And I think that it's just put the last final nail in the coffin. And I think that's really great for young and new artists, because it kind of gives you new opportunities that weren't there in the old structure. So I'm feeling positive.
Yeah, and that'll all happen when we come out of lockdown. I think it'll be telling, won't it, what happens then?
Good to have a bit of positivity, Lola. That's nice.
Always skeptical, but optimistic.
All right, I think we're good. Let's go for it. Hi, Pete Shevlin here. It's another Friday night. It comes around quickly. It's 8 p.m. and it's CNLZ Live. How are you doing? Hope you're very well. And Richard Latto, how are you, mate?
Hey, I'm very good, thank you. You're never going to believe what I did this afternoon. Go on, have a guess. What happened this afternoon? It was a positive thing, taking the wind out of my sails now. We opened some Christmas presents that have been delivered from my brother-in-law very late, so he had a kind of mini Christmas this
nice
afternoon.
Idea.
Yeah, because he couldn't, for whatever reason, he couldn't get them sorted in time. He had some, but not all of them, because of the virus and things like this, and managed to get them brought down, couriered down from London, down here to the south coast, and so we had a little mini Christmas this afternoon.
It's a great idea. I know some of my neighbours, actually, they had their Christmas decorations up for such a long time. When it snowed, they had another Christmas when it was snowing. There is nothing else to do right now.
Perfect photos for social media, for bragging on socials, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Good for the calendar for next year as well, you know, just to get that in, put it on the Christmas cards and all of that stuff.
Yeah, although I am a little convinced my postman now hates us, because we've had so many parcels delivered, not just the stuff through lockdown, but it's my youngest son's birthday soon. And what with that and then the other late Christmas presents arriving, I had about 5 or 6 knocks on the door, and 3 or 4 of them were the same postman. And I'm convinced he used to be a lot more jovial, and I'm convinced he now looks at me like he wants to kill me. I'm sure he does.
Christmas? Did you usually give him something, a bottle of scotch or something in this year? You didn't bother?
A bottle of scotch? What? You're from the very wealthy part of London. If you're giving your postman a bottle of scotch for Christmas, you seriously don't give someone a bottle of scotch.
Well, actually, we do give the dustbin men something. We usually run them out a box of chocolates, and they're very grateful.
Right.
I don't even know why we do it. I think it's just because we've always got a full bin and it's always overflowing, and we just feel a bit guilty about it.
Yeah, and what they really want is more boxes of stuff, don't they, to clog up the van. So I'm sure they appreciate that. Yeah. Anyway, have you had a good week? How have you been?
Yeah, it's been a good week, actually.
Good.
Well, you know, the snow last weekend was absolutely awesome. And, you know, went out, did a bit of sledging, bit of snowman building. It was fantastic. Did you get snow down there?
No, because as I've pointed out already tonight, we don't live in a wealthy area and snow doesn't come to poorer areas. So you're obviously spoiled in your ivory tower with your snow and your bottles of scotch and your box of chocolates for the labourers that come to the house.
Tell me.
But look, go on. Let's get on to the social media videos before we offend any more working class viewers. We have got some great social media videos that we found. I found a couple. The first one is from a guy who's been on several times on this very program. It is Darren. He is brilliant. He's really, really witty. He does all these lovely little videos, usually match them up with theme tunes. He's really got all out on this one. This is a kind of mashup, plus also really, really good Photoshop skills, and it's political. Have a look at this.
COVID-19, especially the new variant, is spreading quickly across the country. This puts many people at risk of serious disease and is placing a lot of pressure on our NHS. Vaccines give clear hope for the future, but for now, we must all stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
Literally, it feels like that when you go out at the moment. It feels like you're in some kind of disaster movie, just waiting for something to happen. I was at the hospital this week with my son, and any person that walked past in that hospital, we were kind of like, you know, trying to get away from them in the corridor. We didn't know who they were, what they had, and it's scary out there, right? Nothing would surprise me if somebody got on the back of a car with a massive machine gun right now.
Yeah, happy days, eh? Let's quickly go on to the next video. Bit of a handbrake turn here. This is Rod Hull and Emu, who you might remember, very, very famous. Lots of people cast aspersions on Rod Hull having a fake arm. I won't have any of that. He didn't have a fake arm. He was holding an emu. And this video is outstanding because it's them in a supermarket in 1975, basically destroying it. How did they get away with this? Oh, the year I was born, crikey. Well, let's have a look and see the type of things that were happening when you were brought into this wonderful world. It's a good move. You're in the supermarket, you're not going to be pleased, are you? They probably said, yeah, can we just come in and film for a bit? You know, guys walking around with a fake puppet bird, biting members of staff and knocking all the produce onto the floor. Brilliant. That was entertainment. That was
entertainment in the 70s. Awesome.
Need to bring it back. And you've been on TikTok because you're ultra cool, Pete, and you have found some lovely little videos. First one is dog themed, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the dog themed one is cool. He's called Casp47. Check him out. He's also on Facebook. He's on Twitter, Instagram, but yeah, mostly on TikTok. But this dog is awesome. Check him out.
Caspy, can you come here for a second, please?
Yeah, what's up, Dad?
Well,
yeah.
What have you been doing this morning? Go on.
Just been playing with Simon.
So that's all you've been doing?
Yeah, why?
So I've just found the contents of the bin.
Oh, the bin?
Was it you?
No, Dad.
So why is the contents of the bin on the floor?
I saw...
Come on then, you saw what?
a raccoon.
A raccoon?
Yeah.
In the middle of England?
Yeah, big one.
And where was Daisy? Come on, Caspy, tell the truth. So if I check the camera...
Camera?
Doggy cam, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So if we just go onto this app here...
Dad, wait.
For what?
Did I tell you?
Did you tell me what?
That you are the bestest.
Really?
Yup.
Flattery won't work.
What?
You can't just say something nice and I'll forget.
Just telling the truths.
Well, thanks, but... So what? We're still having the conversation.
Oh.
I know...
The best one, hasn't it? Everyone has watched Pingu at some point in their miserable lives. And this rated, is that the best way to describe it? Or certainly certificate 18?
I think an urban Pingu is how you should like announce this. It's totally amazing. It's Roadman voiceovers.
Pissed. Yo, who's in there? It's me, David. I'm taking a shit, bruv. Aight, bruv, hurry up, man. You know what, yeah? Yo, what you doing, bro? Hop off that. Let me piss in there, bruv. Move, fam. Get off it, bruv. What do you mean, yo? Move. Bruv. Hey, don't do that to your little brother, mate. What are you doing? No. Are you alright, little man? Hey, come
so
on.
So naughty.
Hey, trying to stand back as far as I can and still get it in, bruv. Hey. Oi, P2 Trappy, what are you doing, fam? Now, you know what, yeah? You gotta clean it up right now, bro. Like, right now, fam. You flipping idiot. Hey, bruv, I can smell my orange juice and lemonade, fam. Bit of blackcurrant as well. Saying that and all done,
I wonder
fam.
what the creators
who's that
think
beautiful
of this.
kid over there? Is that P2 Trappy?
I absolutely love it. I love it when he's standing as far away from the toilet as he can and he's still trying to get it in with terrible consequences. It really made me laugh today.
You know how they do like 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, which is like a naughty version of Countdown? They should have a TV channel that just does naughty versions of children's programmes. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Idea. Yeah.
Or some kind of different commentary you can listen to in an earpiece whilst your children are watching the actual one.
Yeah, absolutely love those videos. Thanks so much, Rich. Very entertaining. So tonight we've got a great show for you. All the tech is working great tonight. The computer drive's been deleted. Everything's been defragged. It's amazing. It's super, super sweet tonight. Lola Aviva is on. She's kind of got a blues funk kind of sound. And Dave Thomas. If you check out his YouTube channel, he does a lot of covers of rock songs. And yeah, both are totally amazing. Welcome to both of you.
Oh,
Hello,
guys. Hey.
How are you both tonight? Dave, how is Austria? Because you're based in Austria right now.
Yeah, I'm based in a little village in Austria. Now it's dark and raining. It's not quite as exciting as it could be. No, it's been all right. Obviously, we're in lockdown as well, so it's quiet. But I have enough things to do with music to keep me going, to keep me entertained at the moment.
But you're into your skiing. Are you there for the skiing? Is that why you moved there?
Yes, so we moved here for the winter. Well, to work in the mountains as a ski instructor and snowboard instructor, and then we've been here now 3 years. So we enjoyed the winter. Summer was arguably even nicer, and yeah, we love it here basically.
Bit of a dream lifestyle. Sounds good.
Well, yeah, unemployed snowboard instructor currently. It could be better, but yeah, it is nice. We are very grateful. We have a beautiful place. We look out the window. There's snow on the mountains, and it's a special place.
And Lola, you're based in West London.
I am, Ladbroke Grove, represent.
Very good. And how long have you been doing music for?
Oh, since I was a child. I've always sung, always played, always done music.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So the current lockdown then, how's it affecting you, like music-wise? Because I would think you probably go to a lot of gigs, you probably enjoy the music scene in London.
Well, this is my first gig in forever, so I'm very, very excited. It's a long anticipated wait, because I mean, literally, I was ready to fucking serenade people outside of my window if they were listening.
That's what they do in Italy. You should just get out there, on the window ledge. If you've not got a balcony, just do it.
I did 30 days out the window.
I encourage you to do it. My old boss lives probably fairly close to you. So, yeah.
Amp up the volume. My name's Thomas and Lola Aviva.
Get onto it. Lola, we should hear from you first. Your first song, I believe, is Wait on the Steps. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I live in a tower block in London, so the steps refer to the steps in my tower block. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a song about waiting for someone that you don't know if you love, but you still are willing to put in the time to spend with them because you miss them. That's basically what it's about.
That's very cute. I've just got an image of you sitting on some steps in this huge tower block, just kind of like twiddling your thumbs and not really sure if your, kind of romantic liaison is going to happen that night or not. Is that what happened?
Well, you'll have to listen to the song.
All right. So, take it away.
Thank you. This is Wait on the Steps. I'll wait on these steps for you. Now, you come through. It's a drug, it's a thrill. I would take that pill. It's a feeling I thought had faded, but still, I'll wait on these steps for you. From the black and white color to blue, I'll be waiting on steps in my best sexy set. I'll be waiting on steps for you. Cause I love you, but I don't wanna be with you. Made up my mind, I love you, but I don't wanna be with you. I'll wait on these steps for you. If I wait on these steps, yes, I'll wait on these steps for you. If I wait on these steps, I'll wait on these steps for you. Not coming that you come through. It's a drug, it's a thrill. I would take that pill. It's a feeling I thought had faded, but still I love you, but I don't wanna be with you. Made up my mind, I love you, but I don't wanna be with you. I'll wait on these steps for you. Yes, I'll wait on these steps. Yes, I'll wait on these steps for you. Yes, I'll wait on these steps. Oh, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da-da, cause I love you, but I don't wanna be with you. Made up my mind, I love you, but I don't wanna be with you. I'll wait on these steps for you. Yes, I'll wait on these steps. Yes, I'll wait on these steps for you. Yes, I'll wait on these steps. Oh, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da-da.
amazing. That was fantastic. What a great song. Perfect for a Friday night. That was absolutely superb. Who do you get the obvious comparisons with? You know, guys must say to you, you remind me of X, Y, and Z. Who is it?
I get Lily Allen. I get Amy Winehouse, which I love because she's goddess. I get Sade, who again is one of my huge idols. I love Sade. But it depends what generation you're talking to. I've got a few baby boomers who think I sound like Rickie Lee Jones, who I love. So I'm quite cross-century, cross-time. There's lots of people I love that I get.
Yeah, Lily Allen, I was going to say, Amy Winehouse, bit of Kate Nash, that kind of thing, a little bit of Alanis Morissette. I think there's the really strong vocals that you've got there with the melody, just reminded me a bit of Alanis there. All really complimentary comparisons. Who are your influences, though? Are they the same guys that you're influenced by, or is it a whole wider selection?
Yeah, I think my influences are huge. They date back from my dad has his gramophone, which I grew up with, which is songs from like the 20s on it. So from Bing Crosby to Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, I love all those old traditional ones. But I'm very eclectic, I think, in the taste of I love all the Beatles. I love all those people. I love great singer-songwriters. So Leonard Cohen, Carole King, Lou Reed, the people who craft their songs themselves have to be my favorite.
Yeah, Lou Reed, obviously superb. Leonard Cohen, Leonard Cohen, bit of a divisive person in the world of popular music. Some people absolutely adore him. Other people are like, oh, Leonard Cohen. Which Leonard Cohen tracks are you particularly fond of? Are there any particular ones?
His last album, What Happens to the Heart, is just
yes.
And that song, What Happened to the Heart, from it, it's like God speaking to you. Leonard Cohen is God, and he is speaking to you, and this is his final words of wisdom, and that has to be up there with one of my top favorite albums.
Superb performer. Great to have influences of such a wide variety as well of artists. Pete, we're getting a fantastic reaction on Facebook tonight. Loads of great comments coming through, aren't there?
Sorry about that. Yeah, loads of great comments. Jill, lovely voice and acoustics, great words. Victoria says, hi Vicky, love that song. Could have listened to a much longer version. Yeah, you kind of took me by surprise, Lola. I was like, oh, it's finished. I was like, you could have gone on. Like, the riff was great, the little tune was great, the little trills you were putting in was really lovely. Extend it. We want a 12-inch version. Mike Adley says, great song. Rosie says, yes, Lola, with a big heart. And Joe Sweetman says, love it, Lola. So, yeah, really great reaction on Facebook there. Thanks so much. Really, really brilliant. Absolutely lovely. We should speak to Dave.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What did you think of Lola's performance there, Dave?
I loved it. I love the kind of funky, smooth sound, like the jazzy vibes. It sounds perfect for, live club, live bar. I would happily sit there, drink some beer and listen to you play. It was amazing, honestly.
Absolutely. All right, Dave, so what are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play a song called Cloud in the Valley. It was written early summer this year, so it was coming off of a long kind of lockdown-y time. I think that day I didn't sleep that well. I woke up with a headache, look out the window, and the valley is just cloud. It's wet, it's miserable, and it was kind of just summed it all up, I think. It just kind of, felt pretty miserable all around.
So was this in Austria? This is while you're in Austria?
This was in Austria, yeah. Basically, I look out my window, and some days you look out and it's unbelievable. There's snow, there's sun, the sunsets, the sunrises are amazing. And some days, I think it was like a week and a half of just grey. You cannot see anything. It's just cloud on the river, cloud everywhere. And I don't know, it felt like at the time everything was a bit, there was no work. There was maybe no summer season. Obviously, pandemic was kind of kicking off pretty full.
And
so yeah, it was just a tough time.
What you see around you. So you stay in this quite small village, right? And
Yeah,
is it like archetypal Austria, where you've got a lake, a mountain, and a little church? Is that the scene?
Yeah, basically we live in a village, 1,500 people maybe, and we live on a small part of the village which has maybe 5 houses, so it's very remote. I look out my window, I see, basically it's a family farm, so there's sheep and goats and chickens, dogs and cats, everything running around, and we can see down the valley, there's mountains, 3,000 meter peaks, 3,500 meters, snow, there's a river running through the valley. No lakes, we're a bit too hilly for the lakes around here, but forests and mountains. It's idyllic, it's absolutely beautiful here, to be honest.
Cool. Well, I'd love to also know later on how lockdown is going in Austria, what it's like over there. But now let's hear Cloud in the Valley.
All right, sweet.
The cloud in the valley lies low on the river this morning. There is a weight in the air like the world is not quite woken up. It sits on the hills like a raven, dark and foreboding. And it's days like today when it looks like the world just gave up. When I woke up this morning, it felt like that someone had hit me. Crawl out of bed with the pain in the side of my head. And I open the window to see how the outside would greet me. But it's pouring with rain, so I might as well go back to bed. When the sun don't shine, everything's cold. When the clouds come down and everywhere's dark, it feels like the clouds will hang over this river forever. But they usually stay for a while and then go on their way. The sun will return to the sky and relieve this low pressure. The problem is when this bad weather, it won't go away. When the sun don't shine, everything's gone. When the clouds come down and everywhere's dark. And everywhere's dark.
Brilliant, really, really good, David. That's absolutely superb. Now, I'm not going to chicken out like I did with Lola, and I asked her who she gets compared to before I give my opinion. I'm going to say you remind me so much of a bit of Johnny Cash in there, a bit of Dave Grohl in there. I mean, who do you get? Is it in that league? Is it guys like that mentioned?
Yeah, a lot of the time it's Johnny Cash, and obviously that for me that's amazing. He's an absolute legend, my biggest inspiration, hands down. He's the king. But yeah, Johnny Cash, yeah, Dave Grohl, that's kind of cool. I quite like that one. I haven't been compared too much to Dave Grohl, but yeah.
I think I can hear just the energy and that kind of, it feels like there's a slight aggression behind the way that you're singing. And I mean that in a complimentary way, that there's just this kind of feistiness that's just bubbling up on the surface and it could break through.
Yeah, I'd like to, I mean, like I play a lot of acoustic songwriter music, but the stuff I'm listening to is mainly, I don't know, kind of extreme metal. So I have so much influence coming from there as well that obviously I'm not going to be screaming and playing acoustic and all that. But something comes through, I hope, and I don't know, it seems hopefully something like that comes through in some way.
So you're influenced by extreme metal, you're listening to it a fair bit.
It's basically, it goes from, I don't know, death metal, black metal to kind of country, Americana, and pretty much everywhere in between.
I tell you what, your neighbours must be so confused as to who they live next door to. They're thinking, this is some crazy bunch of guys next door. One of them likes extreme metal, one of them likes country, one of them likes this. It can't possibly be the same person.
Luckily, our neighbours are also our landlord, and they seem pretty nice. I hear them playing the accordion, the keyboard all the time, so it's a musical little, I don't know, homestead farm thing we have going on here right now.
Oh, perfect. If he has a go about you for being too loud, you can have a go at him for his accordion then, can't you? Yeah, exactly. Brilliant.
We've managed to not wake up my baby, who's sleeping 2 meters behind that wall. So.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, thank you for doing this tonight. God, Pete, we're honoured, aren't we? You know, when you consider someone's got a child there as well that's trying to sleep and they're trying to perform.
Dave's got a little 5-month-old, so cute, a little girl. What's she called, Dave?
She's called Freya, or Freya in German language, but Freya.
So it goes in both languages. That's very clever.
But when you say Freya, everyone's like, huh? Or here they're like, what? And then you go, oh, Freya. And so it's a little bit. You have to change the name for who we speak to.
It was a little bit like when I was in Scotland once, and I was cycling. I did Land's End to John O'Groats, and I said to it was like some farmer guy, which way is Oban? This was before you could get everything on your phone. And he goes, And I said, Oban. And he goes, And then he goes, oh, Oban. And you're like, it's not that far. It's not a big difference, right?
It's a daily occurrence here, honestly. I say something, I try my best accent, my best German, my best Tyrolean accent, and they're like, huh? What?
Like,
oh, he said this. Like, yeah, Freya is the first one. It's hard enough introducing our daughter.
Well, hey, Dave, really great. Big love for you. And also, now who said, where's the beard?
Yeah.
Andy says, where's the beard? What happened to the
beard?
Well,
I shaved it off 2 days ago, and it's disappointing because I got my beard T-shirt on and no beard, so I feel like a right fraud. But yeah, I did have a big old beard, and go onto YouTube, check out my beard.
Awesome. And who else? George says, Georgie Husher says, Dave's lockdown window concerts were amazing.
Yeah, George is one of my biggest fans who's on Facebook from back home in Maidenhead area.
And what else? Jill says, no, that was later on. Marion, Dave, what happened to your beard?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know about your beard, man.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Vicky says, I really like the low notes. Yeah, you nailed those low notes. Absolutely.
Cheers,
Daniel says, what a great voice. Great song, Dave. If I went back to bed when it rained here, I don't think I would be up much. What does that mean, Dan?
Yes. Which Daniel is that? I think I know which Daniel that is, but yeah.
Jill says, great song, Dave. Claire Gilderson, very moody, contemplative, very nice. Yeah, awesome. And Rich, your words were very nice as well. Like, you're very poetic at the end of Dave's song. It must have really touched you, that song, eh?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, very much so. Ironically, it certainly didn't get me in the mood for your quiz this week, because this is going to be another handbrake turn, because you're going to play some exceptionally cheesy music now in the background, and we're going to do a quiz which is called
80s or 90s. Should be pretty easy for you, Rich. Pretty difficult for our very young contestants here. Both Lola and Dave, I think, have got maybe a few years younger than us. We've got a bit of a head start on them. But hey, Rich, you're first. 80s or
Great.
90s? John Lennon assassinated. This is quite easy for you. 80s or 90s?
80s.
Do you think you know the year?
December 1980. December the 5th, wasn't it? 1980, I think.
Well, seeing as you've just done a documentary on John Lennon, that's pretty precise, isn't it?
Might have helped me a little bit, maybe.
Exxon Valdez oil spill, 80s or 90s?
I can remember seeing the photos of that on Newsround. I think that's early 90s.
On Newsround!
Yeah?
Hilarious. That's wrong, I'm afraid. It was late 80s. How about this one? Collapse of the Soviet Union, 80s or 90s?
Oh, 80s.
Mate, you're terrible at this now.
Was that 90s?
Yeah, 1991. First internet domain name registered. What do you think?
Oh, this could
90s?
be a trick question. Oh, gosh. I'm going to go with 80s because it feels like it should be 90s, but I think it's a trick. 80s.
Nice. Yeah, well done. Princess Diana died in a car crash. Which year?
This is a great Friday night, isn't it? I'm going to say, why'd you pick that one? It was 90s. It was 1997.
Yeah! 3 out of 5, Rich. Excellent. Dave, I'll come to you next. 80s or 90s? First Harry Potter book released. 80s or 90s? What do you think?
Got to be 90s, surely.
Yeah, 1997.
Can I just say, Dave's getting much more cheerful questions than me. He's not getting deaths and oil spills.
Not yet.
It'll come, don't worry. Pac-Man arcade game released. 80s or 90s?
80s.
Yeah, 1980. Now, you might know this, seeing as you're in the area of Germany. When was it reunited? Was it 80s or 90s?
Reunited? It's got to be 90s.
Yep, 1990. How about this one? E.T., the Extraterrestrial. When was it released? 80s or 90s?
It's tough. It's the working film, so I should know. It's 90s.
What? 1982. It's a real classic. 80s classic as well.
Yeah.
How about this one? Euro first introduced into the financial markets. Was it 80s or 90s?
90s.
Yeah. This is pretty good. 4 out of 5. Looks like you're in the lead at the moment. Lola, what can you do? Hubble telescope. I don't know, but I reckon you're the youngest one amongst us. Hubble telescope launched into space. Was it 80s or 90s?
90s?
Yeah, nice. IBM introduced their first PC. Was that 80s or 90s?
IBM?
IBM, you know, the computer company? No?
Yeah, I know. 80s?
Wow, she's so young, Rich. She doesn't even know what IBM is. It's amazing, isn't it? Michael Jackson Thriller, 80s or 90s?
Oh, I thought that was 80s, late 80s.
Nice. It was early 80s, 1982. How about this one? The PG-13 movie rating was created. 80s or 90s?
So hard. I'm gonna say 80s. I'm gonna say 80s.
80s, 1984. This one for the lead, Lola Aviva, the 80s, 90s champion so far. Nelson Mandela released from prison. Is that 80s or 90s?
Free Nelson Mandela.
Lovely.
I don't know. 90s.
Yeah! It is a full house. Lola Aviva. Round of applause. How
Very impressive.
the youngest amongst us. Doesn't even remember the 80s.
I feel the bitterness in your applause. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Just for the record, when were you born, Lola?
1998.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And she won the competition. Lola, you don't know this, but the prize for winning the competition is to find something hugely embarrassing from your home. So whatever it might be, something that's embarrassing from your home. You've got a little bit of time because Dave's going to take the next record and he's going to perform. Are you up for that? Are you okay with that?
I've got it right here.
You've got it? Okay, well, let's hear it.
Oh, okay. I got sent this today by my best friend, and this is called Pussy Reclamation. I hope this is by an American author, and she talks about changing the word of pussy. You know, it's no longer a bad word, it's a good word. So that's what I'll be reading the next couple of weeks.
Pussy Reclamation. This is possibly the best, most embarrassing thing we've ever had. Who's your friend? Give her a shout out. This is amazing.
Olivia in Portugal. She's my best friend, and she knows how to get it off.
Well, congratulations. That was well worth the quiz, the win. All right. Well, who have we got next, Rich? Who are we going to next?
Let's go to Dave next.
Dave next. All right.
Right.
Dave's shocked because he's not set up his video camera.
Oh no!
Right. I sneakily did it.
Did you? Nice. Good work.
So talk about afterwards. I don't want to spoil.
But I did ask you, have you ever been to Paris? And you said you've been to Disneyland Paris.
Been to Disneyland Paris, which is in like the outskirts or outside of Paris. You know, the same way like I don't know, Stansted is in London, I guess.
It's probably less likely to be a lyric in a song, isn't it? Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Luckily, having Paris in the song made it already. It gives it a romantic something to cling on to.
And Dave, you look like you're drinking some kind of Austrian beer there.
And I hope I get to visit her someday. I've never been to Rome. I've never walked that ancient city all alone. I've never been to Rome. But I know if I were there, I'd feel at home. And before that I've been here, I've never been there. And before that time I'd never been there too. There's 1,000 different places, and in streets I've never walked. There's 1,000 different places without you. Never ain't been to Bethlehem. I've never felt that funny feeling in my bones. Sure I ain't been to Bethlehem. And if I ever leave, I'll go all on the road. And before that I've been here, I've never been there. And before that time I'd never been there too. There's 1,000 different places, and in streets I've never walked. There's 1,000 different places without you. Never been out of cell block D. And these four walls are all I've ever known. I'm stuck here down in solitary. tomorrow they're preparing my tombstone. And before that I've been here, I've never been there. And before that time I've never been there too. There's 1,000 different places and the streets I've never walked. There's 1,000 different places without you. There's 1,000 different places and the streets I've never walked. There's 1,000 different places without you. Never been to Paris.
Love it, Dave. That was great. Everything was great about it, apart from the trick ending. That did catch me out ever so slightly. That was fantastic. That was great.
Ending. Oh, okay, good.
That is the type of song that I can just feel where you would perform that and where people will really be with you in the crowd and really go along with it. You must be yearning for the world to go back to normal and just to get out and play that live.
To be honest, I've only been playing acoustic and singing for about a year and a bit. So I started playing basically, or playing to people, to the internet, to whatever, as soon as we kind of went into lockdown, and then things kicked off from being in lockdown and people listening in the local area. And yeah, a couple of gigs in the summer at weddings playing covers was nice, but yeah, there's never been any real gigs.
That is mad. That is so crazy. Lola was, I could tell you were thinking the same as us, that is the type of song that deserves to be heard for an audience, doesn't it?
I'd love to play it live. I mean, the music I write, most of the time it's designed with me and my guitar. That's it. So I don't know how it would come across on the record or anything ever, but it's designed to be sung live without too much effects or too much going on, because it's easier on your own.
Stuff is so rhythmic, though. It will be such a different experience when you see people moving to it, you know?
Yeah, and I think with the kind of ticky-tacky guitaring, if you can get the sound of that right in a live situation, it can be kind of like, I don't know if you know Rodrigo and Gabriella, the kind of acoustic duo. They have this really stomping kind of bass sound going through, which is just them making it with their hands. And yeah, that's the kind of thing I'd like to replicate. One day, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of this year, we don't know how it's going to look, but we can hope that maybe we can get back out there again in the summer and start doing gigs. So that's a wonderfully summery song, isn't it, Pete? And we've had another great tranche of reactions here on Facebook. Loads of lovely comments coming through.
Absolutely. Georgie Husher, that was awesome, Dave. Very cash. I might be one of your biggest fans, but you still haven't played Walk the Line for me. He really wants to hear that. Not tonight, probably. Mike Adley says, very Johnny Cash-like. Yeah, absolutely. Jill says, wow, great song, Dave. Could feel the story. Was so upbeat. Loved the lyrics. You have such a great voice and range. Your guitar skills are off the scale. Now, really, so Dave, nice. Like, you've only really been playing since lockdown. Is that true?
No. So I've been playing guitar since I was, I don't know, 10, 11, 12. But it was always electric guitar. I played in metal bands when I was younger, rock bands. And then moving to Austria, I sold all my guitars, I sold all my amps, sold all my effects pedals, and just took my girlfriend's acoustic. And that's all I had, so I had to play with that. I now have purchased my own acoustic, which is really nice and exciting. But yeah, basically that's the reason that I took up playing acoustic guitar.
So lockdown's kind of been good for you then. It's kind of giving you that kind of therapeutic way of writing songs and getting into your guitar and actually having those moments to yourself.
Yeah, it's really hard to say because obviously the world's gone to a pretty horrific place, but it's been good. You know, Austria, they look after you quite well if you're here. And also, you know, to be at home, to have a kid, and to be able to play guitar, it's all right. It's not too bad. You know, it's not the end of the world. For
and us. How does lockdown look? Obviously, we're in a big lockdown here. I mean, this is as big as the first lockdown with kids not at school, and you know, you can't get your hair cut. I've just been like using my clippers on my hair just to trim it back a little bit. What's the story in Austria?
Yeah, pretty similar. We're in lockdown 3 or 4, I think. everything, like schools, everyone's homeschooling. Basic shops are open, gyms are closed, pubs are closed, but ski resorts are open. So, and it's weird because there's a like a curfew. You can only leave the house for specific reasons, but one of the reasons can be sport, which can be to go skiing or snowboarding up on the mountain. So
that's
I mean, it's
You're still getting up there. You're still getting in the mountains, and you're still being able to do that.
I've done it once this season. I've been pretty shocking. It's kind of my excuse is the baby, the 5-month-old, and I feel bad just leaving my girlfriend for too long with her, even though she's great with her, and it will be fine. And also, if I can just come here and do a bit of recording or play a bit of guitar, I get a hell of a lot of good feelings from that as well. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Cool. Lola, how's your lockdown been? What's the story there? Oh, we've lost your...
Oh, we can't hear you. That's weird. You're unmuted. Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Good.
That's a bit better. There you go. Yeah, sorry. How's your lockdown been?
It's not fascinating. I was just saying that I was working, which was good. But as I think I was saying earlier to you, that it's been a little bit of a release for me with the music industry, because for so long I've thought that the music industry has been dead, and 2020 really put that last nail in the coffin, and now it's really dead, the kind of modern industry. So I think that gives a lot of hope for young artists kind of coming through, and with the online presence and stuff. So I've been really focusing on how I attack that this year, editing my own music videos, which I do, and very artistic side of my music I've been embracing.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can see that from what you've been doing on your Facebook page and everything else. And the next song that you're going to play for us, what's it called and what's it about?
It's called If Only, and the song is about what if. You know, I'm a bit of a control freak, and I think, why can't you just be how I want you? So I suppose it's a bit like that.
We all want a perfect life, don't we? We all want perfection. We all want everybody else to be perfect as well, don't we?
We do. If only the world was like that. But it's
and
not.
That's what the song is about. All right, well, take it away.
Thank you. If only, if only I could take your inhibitions and make you a man who's got his own mission. Now what's the point in missing our lives for low down? That's what it's all about. What I wanted to confess was that I've under lots of stress. Cause your love that made me question myself in those reflections. Pretty deep, oh I know you'll continue down this path regardless. I hope you go far, the farthest through. I don't think your heart is heartless, but you cause me harm. You're not harmless. Why do what I do? I did it for you. I did it for you. Oh, I do what I do. Oh, you're like Sade, the sweetest taboo. Oh, yes, I have my own inhibitions. I still have a plan. I've got my own mission. Now what's the point in missing out? Life's full of doubt. That's what it's all about. What I wanted to confess was that I was under lots of stress. Because your love made me question myself in those reflections. Pretty deep, oh pretty day, oh pretty day, whoa, pretty oh pretty day, whoa, oh I know You'll continue down this path regardless. I hope you go far, the farthest too. I don't think your heart is heartless, but you called me home. You're not homeless. Why do I do what I do? I did it for you. I did it for you. Oh, oh, why do I do what I do? Regardless of me, regardless of you. Oh, oh, la 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 la. Ooh, be dee 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 la la la. Oh la 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 la. Hey, oh, be dee 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 oh, oh, only.
Wonderful. What a gorgeous, gorgeous tune. That was fantastic, Lola. It's quite melancholic, but still really positive as well. That was great. I mean, what kind of vibes do you want people to take away from that when you perform that to them?
I think it's a very vulnerable song, so I'm letting you in, definitely. I think I want people to hopefully connect with it. I think everyone's felt like that. And you know, it's not a single, not a, jump around the club place, but hopefully, it touches people the way I felt I needed to say it.
And one of my favourite questions to ask a performer when they come up with a track like that is, who's the first person that you play that to? Because it's such a personal track. You've got to trust that first person for that very important reaction. Who would it be?
Oh, I was singing it all the time. I don't know.
Anyone really. Window cleaner, dustman, anyone that comes to the house. Yeah.
The delivery man.
There's plenty of them at the moment as well.
But it's good to get feedback, isn't it, whilst you're trying to get a song to exactly where you need it to be. Is there anyone that you can trust their feedback, or do you just trust your own instincts and just ignore other people?
For me, I don't trust a lot of people, but there's one person who I do trust, who is my dad. And my dad is a singer-songwriter in his own right, in his own hobby. And we're very different, but he'll tell me if it's shit, basically. He's the only one who'll tell me.
Really? And do you take that on the chin and do you alter it, or do you go, oh yeah, you might think it's shit, I think it's brilliant, shut up?
Well, I mean, he's not mean, so he'll never say it's shit just to kind of get me going. But he's the only person who I really respect his opinion of music, because we've both got such a huge range of music. I'm probably a bit more of a range because it's more kind of modern, but I appreciate what he thinks, and he might not be right, but I listen to it, whereas a lot of people I don't.
Fair comment. Pete, how did that go down on Facebook? What are the comments looking like?
Yeah, amazing. Claire Giddleson says, lovely voice. Mike Adley says, sounds great. Hi, Mike. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Jill says, beautiful, Lola. Gorgeous. Chilled song. Very engaging. Love your voice. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Dylan says, yes, queen. That might mean something to you. It means nothing to me. Daniel says, great song, such a lovely voice, Lola. And Georgie says, beautiful lyrics. Sandy Tom vibes from Lola on this one. Such a lovely voice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really stunning voice. And what are you hoping for once all this madness finishes, Lola? What do you really want to happen, like career-wise?
Well, I want to get better and better. I want to write better songs. I think people neglect how much of a craft it is to write, songs that you think are good. So I want to get better at that. But my aim in the next year is to get a publishing deal, because I want to be a singer-songwriter foremost rather than a performer. Even though I love performing my songs, I'd like to have a publishing deal. And I'm planning to go to Portugal when the borders open back up.
Wow.
Just so I have a chance to play to people, because they have an audience out there and there's lots of young people. So my plan is to leave the UK for a little bit to try and just get an audience again.
Why Portugal? Why that place in particular?
Portugal's actually quite up and coming. Portugal's got some very cool people over there. A lot of people went. It's a lot of young people, and it's actually really the most buzzing place in Europe at the moment is Portugal.
It's news to me, but I know nothing. How can people find out more about you, Lola?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram, Lola Aviva. You can look me up online. I've got lots on YouTube and lots on Twitter. Basically, Lola Aviva is how you'll find me.
Cool. And how about yourself, Dave? How do we find out more about you?
Best place is probably YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Dave Thomas Music 1, number 1. Yeah, or Facebook and Instagram, but YouTube's where all my music goes.
Cool. Great night tonight, eh, Rich? Like, 2 amazing guests. How amazing were they?
Yeah, great night, even though we're not at all bitter that Lola thrashed us at the quiz, despite being ridiculously younger than us. I mean, we're not going to mention that too many more times, are we? Other than that...
Lola, tell us again, what year were you born?
Oh, I won't do it to you, Peter, don't.
1990... what was it?
8, wasn't it?
It was... Honestly, I didn't think anybody was born in 1998. I just thought, like, the world stopped at 1989. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, not bitter at all. But thanks so much to both of you for joining us tonight on CNLZ. You've both been amazing guests. And what we'd like to do as well is if both of you, keep in contact with each other, keep in contact with us, come back and play again. It would be amazing to have you on.
I'd love that.
That would be awesome, yeah.
Cool.
Cheers, guys.
So any closing thoughts for this week then, Rich? Any plans for the week or any things that we should be looking out for?
Any plans for the week? Well, if you'd have asked me that last week, I would never have guessed it was going to snow in parts of the UK.
True.
So,
Absolutely.
how can you make plans when anything can happen? Who knows? There could be a surprise around the next corner. I'm trying to keep it quite spontaneous at the moment and not plan too much to stuff, just to make it feel like we've got a bit more freedom from within the small world that we're living at the moment. So, yeah, let's wait and see what the next week brings.
It's so tough at the moment, isn't it, with the lockdown and everything? But thanks so much for everybody for joining out with us. There's been a couple of Daniel Steels, Daniel Barini, Jill has been on as well. Thanks so much, Jill. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Georgie. Thank you, Gabby. Eileen Ray has been watching as well. Thanks to everybody for watching. It's been an incredible night and 2 amazing guests. Next week, please join us again. Kirk, Mickey Ennie and Beware of Trains are on, and they will also be amazing, I'm sure. This is the home of live music that you can't get anywhere else right now. It's just not possible to tune into live music unless you take a look at Facebook, take a look at the live gigs that are happening. Please support Lola and Dave and other artists like them. It is tough out there for live musicians. So, yeah, and we're here every Friday, 8 p.m. This is CNLZ, and we'll see you next week. Take care.